Hi everyone, welcome back. Now in today's video I'm going to be picking one of my antique pieces. It's going to be copper and we're going to polish it up on the buffing wheel. Just going to show you the process that I'll go through when I list an item. So without further ado, let's pick an item and get started. So many to choose from. Maybe this one. Okay, I think we'll kick off with this piece. Now it's a very useful pan. It's an ideal kind of object if you want to start getting into cooking with copper. It's not too heavy, but it's got enough there, to make it last quite a few years. Now it's got a tin lining, good tin lining. Now there's many documented benefits of using copper with tin linings. None of that harsh and horrible coatings that you get on a lot of modern ones now. So it's got a suitable amount of tarnish. Let's give this a whirl. Okay, first a wipe down. Just removing all the dust and grime. Wipe over so we can see what we are dealing with. It's a good everyday pan, this one. Definitely a good entry level one to use. Safety equipment, goggles. Now I like to wear a thick, heavy leather apron that doesn't flap about too much. Because what you don't want to do when you're using these is get anything loose caught in them, because they're very powerful and spin high speeds. Okay, test round. So next we apply what they call a soap, which is a cutting compound. Now we polish with this section here, not the top section or this side, because it spins the item out of your hand. Okay, let's just show you the progress so far, before and after. It is a little bit tricky, it does take a lot of work. There's still some imperfections. It gets a little bit harder once you work your way around the handle. That'll have to probably be done by hand. So let's get the other side done. Check for imperfections again, small areas of tarnish, slowly getting there. Now already we can see a vast improvement. And what you'll find with copper, if there's any green dabs or dots on it, you can polish those out, but depending on how long the water has been left on there, turn it to verdigris, you may get some minor pitting to the surface. But look, these items are sometimes antique, 100+ years. This one isn't that old, it's probably 50 to 60. So you're going to expect a little bit of wear and tear. But they look really nice once they're all polished. Right, let's work on the side. Now doing the side can be a little bit tricky, because if you catch that edge, trust me, it rips it out of your hand and it can go flying, you know. when I first kicked off with this quite a few years ago, practicing, it did catch me out and it did rip it out of my hand. So, you know, I'm not going to say this is a tutorial on how to use it, because you know, you shouldn't just go and buy one and just jump straight into it. But, you know, it's important to use the right part of the wheel. Use the top or you catch the edge. These can be lethal, trust me. Don't try this at home. So all the tiny scratches that you see, we'll use a finer compound on that wheel there. We slowly remove all those marks. Now sometimes when I buy these items, it's pretty dark sometimes in the morning, and you know, it's a lot of push and shoving sometimes, and stuff's covered in lots of muck. And there's been plenty of times where I've bought stuff and got it home and cleaned it, and there's been some real sort of bad marks on it that don't come out, not really suitable to sell. So it's always a little bit of a gamble for me when I buy them like that. It's not until I start to clean them that I then grade them and decide whether or not I will sell them. You know, I don't mind a few little knocks and dings here and there as part of its journey, part of its story. You know, these have been used for, this one hasn't seen much use, to be honest with you, but some of my stuff has been used for well over 100 years, so you're going to expect a little bit of wear and tear. That's the beauty of them. These last. You can have them re-tinned. You know, if you do need to have them repolished, there's companies out there that will do it for not a lot of money. So yes, it's nice to bring them back to life. You know, you can cook a lovely supper for your loved one in one of these. Quite a time consuming process. I have to keep polishing, stopping, checking, finding where the areas that need more. Okay. See you at the end. Okay, let's move on to the tricky bit around the handle. Get as close as I can safely, and then we'll probably move over to the angle polisher. Next I need to secure the pan in place. Can be a little bit tricky. Next I'll move over to one of these. tricky operation. Just gets into all those small intricate places that the big grinder can't get into. It's just that area there and there. See if I can do it with one hand. Give this a once over. A slight imperfection on the handle in the casting. It's quite smooth, so it's been done a long time ago. It's just these little imperfections that affect the final value. Now, if this was absolutely perfect with no little dents, it would fetch a lot more than what I'm going to be asking for it. So you have to bear that in mind when you buy these items. They do come with history, and along with history, wear and tear. So next we move on to a finer wheel with a finer cutting compound. This one's green, the first one was brown. Slightly bigger particles of compound in that one. So now what we do, we start polishing out the polishing marks from this one. Inspect. And already you can see we're getting a really high gloss finish on this. A little bit more around the outside, final inspection, and we'll head inside for the final clean. So we've just got some compound to clean off. It's certainly nice to get back in the old routine. I haven't done this for quite some time now. Okay, I'm going to go inside, do the rest of the hand cleaning, finish off the interior. I'll tell you what I'll seal the tin lining with when I come back. I'm really pleased with that. And then I'm going to decide on how much this is going to be in my website shop. Welcome to SeansWorld.com. After all, that's what it's all about, raising some money for the project. Dare say I'll have a cup of tea when I'm in now. It's thirsty work. See you when I get back. Come up really good. Let's just get it in the right light for you. There we go. Unfinished pan. Now what I had to do while I was inside, first of all I went over it with a wet polish and got all the compound off and cleaned it with a finer abrasion once again. Dried it all off, very important to dry the copper afterwards. And then I went round it with a dry polish. So there's quite a few stages to get to this point. I finished the inside with which is quite important, some non-rancid oil just to seal it, and then when you go to use it you can wipe it out, and that just keeps that nice and clean. Right, next it's time to photograph it. Now I quite like the rustic simplicity of this backdrop. It hasn't got to be bright. It's not that kind of image that I'm after. Yeah, let's get some photographs of that. Always describe in the description if there's any imperfections. It can sometimes be quite difficult to take pictures of copper. Anyone that's ever tried to take a picture of a mirror will understand what I mean. So that's the process. It's quite a lengthy process. It takes me all day, clean, depending on how bad the object is. Sometimes I can get several hours into it and then see something that just isn't right and I think I can't sell it. But that's just the way it goes. Okay. It'll be great once I get my sink rigged up downstairs, because as you can imagine, when I go inside I have to clean all that compound off. It's done in our kitchen sink area, so that's not ideal, and Sam doesn't like it, believe it or not. So once I get my sink rigged up here, it'd be great to have it all contained here, start to finish. Okay, that's going to get listed in my website shop. Okay, I'm going to do my best to get this listed straight away, and obviously all proceeds will go back into the renovation project. So yeah, there is a balance there between the time it takes me to do this, the money raised. There's always pros and cons, but that's what I think I need to do to keep this project back on track, and it provides me with another income stream. As mentioned in the previous video, I did lose 6 weeks of revenue from YouTube. They just switched the adverts off. Still don't know what happened to this day. Yeah, I need to future-proof myself and of course my family. Okay, hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to check out the website shop. There's merchandise in there as well. One of these t-shirts, if you like it, you can get it from there. Worldwide shipping. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.